You know how to spot a red flag in your friend's relationship in about 5 seconds. But when it's yours, you'll spend 2 years explaining why his isn't really a red flag. And that's not a coincidence. There's actually a reason you can see it clearly for everyone else, but not for yourself. You know the routine. He goes cold for 3 days, then shows up with a paragraph about how stressed he's been, and instead of seeing it for what it is, you feel relieved. You screenshot the message, send it to the group chat. And now 4 of your friends are spending their Tuesday night helping you decode 3 sentences because you've already read them 9 times and you still can't tell if he actually means it. And the part that nobody talks about? It's not the bad moments that keep you there. When someone's hot one day and cold the next, your brain treats it the same way it treats a slot machine. It's called intermittent reinforcement. That unpredictability is what makes it addictive, not the good moments, but the fact that you never know when they're coming. That anxiety you feel when he hasn't texted back, that's not chemistry. That's the same thing that keeps people sitting at a poker table at 3 a.m. And that's why a guy who texts back right away, who actually shows up, who asks how your day was, something in you goes quiet. No butterflies, no spark, just nothing. So you assume there's no connection. Meanwhile, the guy who leaves you on red for 6 hours has your full attention. Somewhere along the way, you learned rules nobody ever said out loud. Be supportive, but not so supportive you lose yourself. Have standards, but don't be high maintenance. See the best in people, but also somehow never miss a red flag. And if you stay too long, you should have known better. If you leave too fast, you didn't try hard enough. And all of that would be exhausting enough on its own. But it costs you more than just a bad relationship. You check how long it took him to respond before you even read what he said. You count the words. You notice he didn't use an emoji when he usually does. By Friday, you've spent so much energy tracking his moods that you cancel plans with people who actually like you. And the worst part, you shrink. You stop bringing up your own bad days because there's never room. All the space in the relationship goes to his problems, his moods, his needs, and yours just keep piling up. There's a reason you keep explaining his behavior to your friends. When your brain is holding "I'm smart" and "I'm staying with someone who treats me badly" at the same time, it needs to make one of those make sense. So it starts making him sound better than he is. He's not avoidant, he's scared. He's not inconsistent, he's healing. You basically become his publicist because the alternative is admitting how much time you've already wasted. And over time, the thing that actually takes the hit isn't the relationship. It's your ability to trust yourself. If your judgment is this wrong about him, how do you trust it about anything? Your career, your friendships, your own gut. That starts messing with everything. And that pattern, the fixing, the explaining, the shrinking, that didn't start with him. That started way before him. So you're giving the right advice to every friend you have, going completely blind in your own relationships, and losing trust in yourself a little more every time. That's not bad luck. But where it actually comes from, that's a different conversation. And this is where it gets personal. There's a psychological dynamic called the Florence Nightingale effect. It describes what happens when someone with high empathy confuses the urge to take care of someone with actual romantic attraction. The moment he opens up about his past, something clicks, and your brain reads that compassion as connection. You didn't fall in love with him. You fell in love with the project. But not every version of this comes from the same place. Some women end up here because they were socialized into it. Every fairy tale, every rom-com, every stand-by-your-man narrative taught them that female love means endurance. That the measure of your devotion is how much dysfunction you can absorb and still stay. Others end up here because their childhood set the baseline. If love at home meant earning it, performing, managing, keeping the peace, then a calm, stable partner doesn't feel safe. It just feels unfamiliar. And unfamiliar feels like nothing. The difference matters because one is a story you were told, the other is a feeling you grew up on, and there is a version of this that's harder to look at. I'll be honest, sometimes the fixer pattern isn't about him at all. Sometimes choosing someone who needs saving means the entire relationship stays focused on their problems. And as long as everything's about his stuff, you never have to deal with yours. You never have to risk being fully seen and fully rejected for who you actually are. That's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Remember how you can spot the red flags in your friend's relationship in 5 seconds? You still can. You always could. The problem was never your judgment. It's that you keep making exceptions when it's your turn. And honestly, part of you already knows that. You don't need to get smarter about men. You just need to stop talking yourself out of what you already see. If you've ever wondered why the calm ones feel boring and the chaotic ones feel like home, that's a whole other layer. Subscribe if you want to go there.